Hey everybody, what the flick? Fargo Season 1, Episode 4, Eating the Blame. Alonso Duralde, John Iadarola. Okay, so great episode for Billy Bob Thornton, but I gotta start with Mr. Numbers and Mr. Wrench. Are they lovers or not?
I was watching this with another person, and I had thought they were supposed to be brothers. But now it's hard. Now I would lean after the argument towards lovers.
I was thinking that too. Okay, so it's not just
thin
me.
line between love and hate.
Okay, yeah, no, nobody else has arguments that passionate. That's all I'm saying.
He didn't even drink his beer.
Not even Hitmen. So, okay, maybe my favorite episode so far. I mean, granted, 4 is not a big thing, but I like how all the stuff kind of turned in on each other. This is definitely, I think, so far Billy Bob's Emmy episode that he would submit. I think
he was pretty good. I liked the sort of very frosty, cold, dead demeanor that he had in the first episode, and then the second. But his interactions with the young Hanks, I enjoyed early on.
Sure.
And it was great here too. I mean, he showed that he does have some life to him, that he can easily slide into this alternate character that he might or might not otherwise have used in the past. I enjoyed that, and definitely for the Mr. Wrench and Mr. Numbers, this is my favorite episode for them.
Well, sure. Yeah.
I have not been a big fan of them leading up to this, but I thought that they were interesting in this one.
I think it's funny. I think what makes Thornton's accent so fun here is that we got to see him be this deadpan leading up to it, and all the while it's like, we're going to get to do the accent. I can't wait to do the accent. It's sort of like did you ever see what's that movie? A Blowout. That De Palma movie. It's people love it more than I do, but anyway, there's a scene where John Lithgow is the really, really awful villain in this movie, and there is this great scene where he puts in a fake call to the police, and his voice is saying, "Oh my God, there's been a terrible accident," but his face reveals none of it. So he's literally just going, "Oh my God, there's been a terrible..." It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Like when a cyborg impersonates a human on the phone.
Yes, exactly. So there was something to that in watching Billy Bob just immediately embrace that whole oh yeah, down by Brainerd,
The expressions that he was using were great.
Yeah.
The person I was watching it with is from Minnesota, and every line of his should be like, "Oh, we talk like that."
Yeah, he worked in an oofda and everything. Yeah, so apparently when Fargo gives you a new identity, they give you a really solid one.
Yeah.
The police checked him out and decided that he was indeed, the local pastor or whatever.
Couldn't you Google it? The church has got to have a website with a picture or something like that.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they'd have faked that too.
Maybe all they had was Bing. I don't know. There's always in this day and age, I think the credulity gets strained when you think about that sort of well, you've got cell phones and you've got Google and but whatever. I'll allow it.
No gene sequencing. Come on, guys.
You have his fingerprints. Do a DNA swab while you're at it. Be thorough.
But yeah, the show would not be the show without bumbling cops, and this was just another great example of that.
Right, exactly.
As the good cops are on the periphery, just trying to make things go right.
Yeah, getting shoved out of the way by the bumbling cops and being like, no, I'll handle this, idiot.
Well, and what was great about this instance of the bumbling cops is normally you have the head of the police station in Bemidji who fails because he doesn't care about following up on things. He's not interested in evidence.
Right.
But here they fail specifically because he asks for evidence and isn't satisfied with the very good evidence they have. Like that photo that's clearly him. It could not be his mother. It was him. But it didn't satisfy Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk, yeah. Which, I'm very excited about the Better Call Saul Breaking Bad spinoff we've been promised. And so it's great to get an Odenkirk fix in the meanwhile. I like your observation about Mr. Numbers' fur coat.
Oh, yeah, so you got to see, they both have an interesting winter sense of style, but Mr. Numbers, they do a nice close-up of him peering out of the woods at Lester Nygaard, and his beard perfectly blends into his coat so that you don't know where the beard ends and the coat begins. And it might actually be the case that his coat is made up of beards from years past. I like inventing the backstory.
Sure, and I think that would qualify as cruelty-free, so
Exactly.
he can feel good about that. So I love that, and they're tormenting Lester over the one thing, arguably, that he didn't do in all this. I mean, maybe a little. I mean, he started the ball rolling, but he didn't actually murder, Hess.
Sam
Hess. But they are not having it. They're convinced that that he and the widow are, that it's some sort of double indemnity thing going on there.
Because he's getting her kitty pushed in his face every night, apparently.
Right, so they think. They one aborted lap dance, and the world just judges you.
Poor Lester.
Oh, well, no, he's kind of coming to him, but still. I saw 2 episodes last night to get caught up, so now I'm trying to remember. Is it this week or last week that he fires the gun that makes the biggest hole?
Oh no, that was last week. His triumphant
okay.
slow motion machine gun.
Yes,
that was a great moment for him. I found that to be very endearing. And so he was getting tormented over the phone and everything, and that was a great scene. And it shows you how Mr. Numbers and Mr. Wrench really approach their job in a very different way than Malvo, I believe we now know his name to be.
Lorne Malvo.
Yeah, they seem to take more joy in it, although of course Mr. Numbers is more about the kill, I think, than Mr. Wrench. Mr. Wrench has more of a moral code.
True.
And we all, I'm sure, expected that once he was getting dragged out into the lake, he was going to spill the beans, but he didn't reveal as much information as I thought he did. No. Enough that they will follow up on it, of course.
Sure, yeah. And actually, it should be noted that while Mr. Numbers is enjoying the psychological torture aspects of this, that's what Malvo is doing to poor Stavros, the grocery king.
That's a good point.
Gaslighting the shit out of him between giving him speed and blood in the shower and now crickets and locusts, whatever they are. Yeah,
well, they're supposed to be locusts.
Yeah,
basically.
In the produce department, it's just, oh God, the poor guy is losing.
Yeah, that's as he was like running through the supermarket, and I wasn't thinking of Stavros, but I was just thinking of like the guy who runs the supermarket. That is a disaster, because how are you going to get rid of all those?
Yeah, that is your nightmare. That's like
the dog.
The dog,
sad.
I know. It's always sad when they kill the dog. But yeah, that's like running a mattress factory and finding out you've got bed bugs or something. That's the worst.
But so I do want to criticize Lester. He is obviously kind of a failure as a human being. His brother acknowledges it, everyone acknowledges it. But when he finally mans up and he has this big scene where he attacks a man, which he hasn't really done, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Except when he punches a cop, I suppose. And he tases Mr. Numbers. He then proceeds to do the least effect, like, either tase him a couple more times, or tase his brother and throw them both in the lake. But instead, he just runs away so that Mr. Wrench can save Mr. Numbers.
Well, I think, he was taking advantage of the fact that Mr. Wrench had no idea this was happening.
That's what you go up behind him and you tase him too.
Well, okay, fine. But as we have learned,
I have too high of expectations.
Strategic thinking is not Lester's strong suit. The long game is not really his.
He's so brave in the Hobbit movies. I just want to see some of that in Fargo. Come on, Martin Freeman.
Oh, man. Did you read the Martin Freeman interview in EW, by the way?
No.
He's kind of a dick.
You need 3 bad interviews before you get dick status, I think.
Guess. It may be so. And
Mel Gibson got a second try.
Yeah. Look, I take nothing away from Martin Freeman as an actor. I think he's terrific. If you haven't seen, there's a Spanish film that he's in called Animals that came out last year. Very creepy and Donnie Darko-ish, which he's very good in. If you have a chance, rent that one.
I've always liked him.
But yeah, that interview, you're like, wow. And it was the kind of interview where it's like, everybody thinks I'm nice, everybody thinks I'm an everyman. Fuck everybody. That's really the interview. So like, I suppose there's, if you're getting cornered into an image, that's the way to get out of it, certainly. So,
I guess I think for somebody who is not necessarily typecast, but you get famous for a particular set of reasons, there's always that point in your career where you start to resent why you're famous.
Right.
But the fans just usually don't want to hear it. Like, they like you for that reason.
Leonard Nimoy wrote a book called I Am Not Spock, and then years later he wrote one called I Am Spock. So I was like, just go with it, Martin Freeman.
Yeah, in 10 years he's going to be in Entertainment Weekly saying, put me back in the office.
Exactly. I'm Bilbo, damn it. So God, what? I love the idea of the Molly Colin Hanks romance that is sort of slowly unfurling.
That others are seeing, even if they're not.
Yeah, clearly. I think even the daughter is clued into that one. So, so the hope, of course, is that nothing horrible happens to them.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have a point as to that. So this episode, we're now 4 in, and so we know enough about the world and the way the show goes that you sort of have some expectations based on it. And they've been able to maintain a plot that can be unpredictable. For instance, like in the past few episodes, somebody dies every episode.
Sure.
And so now, much like with Game of Thrones, you go through the episode expecting somebody is going to die. And so the scenes have this natural tension to them that they wouldn't have in most network shows.
Right.
And so there were a couple of scenes where I thought that either possibly Dennis from Sunny could die, or Lester theoretically could have died, or he could have killed Mr. Wrench or Mr. Numbers. Like, that's a very real possibility in this show because of what we've seen leading up to this episode.
Sure. It's funny to cite Entertainment Weekly again. There was actually a story this week about how that so many people have been dying on TV lately that it's almost become the new cliche of before it was, oh my God, they never kill anybody. Now it's they could just kill anybody at any time.
Everybody, yeah.
Why am I getting invested in any character if they're going to pluck them at any moment? But
damn you, George R. R. Martin.
That's neither here nor there. So yeah, no, I love where this is all going. I like watching the curlicues of it, and just that punchline of all three of them winding up in the same prison cell. It's like, ta-da,
As soon as they walk around the corner, you're just like, oh, Lester, poor Lester.
Can't get a break. Didn't even get Arby's.
No.
So, All right, we'll be back next week. Thanks for joining us.